have achieved in last 2.5 years. And now we are here today. And our entrepreneurial journey together so far, it's been very interesting, challenging, enriching, transforming, progressive, and the list goes on. It's, to say, the learnings were not linear, but they were multidimensional. When we started in 2015, we weren't sure, I mean, it was nothing like we are starting something new and all. We just chose the lifestyle to be a business, to start something on our own. I worked for TCS for a couple of years after my graduation. From childhood, it was my sister who first dreamt of becoming civil servant. But then somehow she transformed that into, that seed in my mind, and she moved on. But I was stuck there. I wanted to prepare for civil services because I wanted to be an all-rounder. I could not stop myself in one place. I wanted to be everywhere in all the subjects. All subjects were my favorite subjects. So I could not choose one. In Inter, I had to choose MPC, just like that. But I was interested in commerce, biology, and everything. So I thought after engineering, in computer science, computers was one of my most favorite subjects after knowing the society, technology and all. So I chose computer science. And in those 4 years, we are from Warangal. So the exposure that I could get in Warangal was kind of limited compared to Hyderabad. So after graduation, I wanted to pursue I had two options. If I had to choose civil services or TCS, then I thought, it's the first time I'm moving out of the house. So I wanted to gain more exposure and become a independent woman in the society and then do something for the society. So I chose Tata Consultancy Services. And then it was I am a very big fan of the Tata core and ethics because they value individual rather than anything else. More than the human, they value the human values there. So after that, I prepared for civil services, gained the whole insights of the society, how it works and all. Then I did not want myself to limit to one role then. By then, our paths crossed and I felt entrepreneurship gives me that freedom to do whatever I want, wherever I want, and create a huge impact in the lives of people. So then we chose software to begin with and then venture into different industries. So we started to learn the tactics of running a business in the beginning and then expand Sriyal into a very big company, technology company in future. And that we are very happy with the progress that we are able to, that we have made and we are making now. And WeHub is an amazing platform now. And we had many support systems that helped us. WeHub is going to be one such, sir. I sincerely appreciate and thank you for this effort. And this from a youngest state of India, it's really, we have to appreciate it once again. Thank you so much.
And we thank you for being such an enterprising woman in this state. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All the best, Telangana government. Yes, we are with you, and we would love to contribute to whatever extent that within our capacity, to the best of our capacity. Thank you. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to invite on stage some of our very special guests. I'll start with the chief guest of the event, Dr. Tessie Thomas, also known as the Missile Woman of India. Really, such an honor, such an honor. Dr. Tessie Thomas, the first woman to head an Indian missile project, has decisively broken the glass ceiling to make her mark in a traditionally male bastion. Having stood out ever since she joined the DRDO in 1998, she has played a pivotal role in India's missile development program, particularly in the making of its long-range nuclear-capable ballistic missile, the Agni-V. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. our guest of honor, Miss Vani Kola. Our guest of honor, Miss Vani Kola. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. Ms. Vani Kola is the MD of Kalari Capital, an early-stage technology-focused venture capital firm with $650 million in assets under management. Ms. Kola is a serial entrepreneur and a visionary known for identifying emerging markets and building successful market-driven software companies. She was the founder and CEO of Certus Software, a leader in the financial compliance market. Prior to establishing Certus, she was the founder and chief executive officer of RightWorks, a successful e-procurement company that was acquired by ICG and subsequently by i2. Before founding RightWorks, Ms. Kola held management and engineering positions at Consilium and Control Data Corporations. Ms. Kola's personal commitment to excellence and integrity influences her approach to building companies, developing products, and empowering people. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for her. Now, there is no chief before the next name that I'm going to call out, even as she said that she would like that to happen. We have the man himself behind WeHub, ladies and gentlemen, the Yuvataram Nayakudu, Mr. Rama Rao, a prolific, he really needs no introduction, but I'm going to give it anyway. A prolific statesman holding multiple key responsibilities, Honorable Minister Shri Rama Rao Garu, fondly addressed as KTR, is an inspiration to many. In a short span, KTR Garu emerged as one of the most popular leaders in South India and is fondly called the young tiger of Telangana by his followers. He was also awarded the most inspirational icon of the year for politics by CNN and Ritz Magazine's Scotch Challenger of the Year 2015, IT Minister of the Year 2017, a progressive and disruptive young thinker. KTR's vision is to make Hyderabad a global city and Telangana the most sought-after investment destination, ladies and gentlemen. I request Deepthi Ravula to please join them on the stage. May I request Ms. Vani Kola to please share a few words.
Namaskaram. I am so inspired and happy to be here today. I was almost not going to be able to make it, but how do you ever say no to KTR Garu? So I had to come, and I'm so glad that I did. The collective energy here, just seeing everyone, this is just amazing. And Hyderabad is home for me. I went to Usmania University here for my engineering many years ago. I'm dating myself here by saying this, but when I was listening to these young entrepreneurs speaking, I couldn't help but be nostalgic to how times change and how some things never change. I remember there were 6 women in my engineering class, and at that time it was just not that common for girls to pick engineering. And the things that don't change is my mother, my uncles, who's going to marry her if she becomes an engineer? So that seems to be the constant in most women's life who try to be path breakers. I did marry someone who was a senior in Usmania and also a co-Hyderabadi. We now live in Bangalore, having lived in Silicon Valley for 21 years. But, you know, I'm asked a lot about representation of women in entrepreneurship and what is holding us back. And I'm always a little baffled, and this is such a constant question. And when you don't have any smart answers, you kind of want to run away from that question. And I'm tired of answering that question, but not today. because what it takes, and I'll come to that in a minute, but you know, you must know, I'm sure, that global average is women entrepreneurs who get funded is about 4%, women in venture capital is about 4%. India, actually, our percentages are a little better. In our own firm, I think we have about 20% of our funded companies are women, and that's without us trying to use a gender lens to investing, because we can't. Our mandate is broader, and so, but nonetheless, that's the situation. And I think India averages 8 to 10%, and that's actually ahead. And you know, the time and the place and the world I grew up in, maybe some of you will relate to it. You wanted to be as incognito with government as you could help it. And going to Silicon Valley, that didn't change also. And especially when you're in technology, to say, you know, government can only interfere, what can they do? That bias, unconscious bias, and perhaps a little bit of preconceived notion, I had to seriously rethink and reimagine what a good government can do for growth, not only just at a state level, but also at every individual level, after I have observed what the young Telangana government has done. And I'm very, very proud to see this happening in my own home state. And obviously, all of you, and myself included, have been very impressed, very inspired with you, KTR Garu. And when Sashi was talking, I had one complaint for you. If you were only a little older, I did all this, you know, when I had to leave, before I could leave for Silicon Valley, maybe I didn't have to do this. If this government was there, maybe I didn't have to leave Hyderabad and go to Palo Alto to be an entrepreneur, right? But as they say, better late than never. And, you know, this initiative, and I'll be short, but I'm excited, so I want to share a few thoughts. I think this initiative is very, very important, and I think it's a great example of where and when done right, a public-private partnership of government enabling growth and support can make a huge difference in the outcomes of its citizens and individuals. And I do think this initiative is very important, not because women need a handout or a special status. I've never felt that's what I needed. What I needed was just support to say you can do it. And most of my mentors have really been fantastic men who have been willing to believe in me. And I don't think I could be, starting with my father, who had 2 daughters, and never, I felt at least, told us what we could or could not do. Onwards, my bosses and so many other men in my life who told me that I could be all that I wanted to be. In fact, when I went for seed investment with a first company, and I was an engineer, not a business person, coming from a middle-class family, all of that, I had a wonderful person, Suhas Patil, who gave me the seed funding, gave the break for me to start my company. So while we are doing this WeHub, I think it is important that it is also inclusive. It has to be a home and a place for women, the network, the sisterhood, and the inspiration and support that we all need at moments. But then for them to soar, for each of us to soar, I think we have to be viable, commercially successful, and inclusive in who we go to for mentoring, and also how we build our businesses in an inclusive way. Lastly, I think this first initiative, I never really saw this would, never really thought this would come together seriously when I even first heard some mentions about it in GES when I was here last year, just a few months ago. And the speed with which this has happened, I'm very inspired. I hope to be back with each of you and do whatever I can to pay forward, share the way in which I think women can lead great companies, be board members, be CEOs, be CXOs in large companies. And I wish all of you the very best on today's Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and we wish you the same. May I
Is this all empty words? And am I going to commit anything? That was the question from Honorable Minister Garu, and that's supposed to be a question we ask the government, usually, right? They come make promises and don't deliver, but touche, right? I am being asked, and they have delivered, so we have to do our part. And I see Pani back there, someone also I respect a lot, and I think it's a brilliant, I don't know how many states have a CIO, but I think it's really brilliant that he's here, and I've seen his entrepreneurial journey, and between KTR Garu and him, I don't see how I cannot spend more time in Hyderabad. I'd love to do that. And we would love to see great companies come out of Hyderabad, and the commitment to invest here, commitment to spend more time here, bring our team here. And anyway, we do sometimes come to WeHub and spend time there looking at the companies and doing that WeHub. And, investing into women is something that's very important to me. I have 2 daughters, and I see through their lens what the world needs to become. And if we are not champions of that, who else? So yes, I am serious and genuine about being committed to the initiatives that the Telangana government has started, and do our part to take that forward, but also committed to work with all of you as you realize your dreams and vision. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, what can we say, whether it's the line of questioning or if it's about ideas and implementing things, the government of Telangana does do things differently. May I call on stage our next speaker, the Missile Woman of India, Dr. Tessie Thomas. Such a pleasure to have you here.
Very respected Sri Rama Rao Garu, Honorable Minister for IT, EC and IC and many other, I think continues. Guest of honor, Mrs. Vani Kola, MD Kalari Capital. I think our Principal Secretary to Government of Telangana, Sri Jayesh Ranjan is on the way. Mrs. Deepthi Ravula, CEO of WeHub, senior dignitaries, and a wonderful rainbow of women entrepreneurs who have come here. A very good evening to all of you, and a very happy International Women's Day. I was fortunate to share our DRDO platform in last year, the same day on Women's Day, with Sri Rama Rao Garu, and it was a wonderful event for us. Again, I'm happy that I'm able to be with him, like what you all mentioned, Tiger of Telangana. Yes. It's really a great moment of pride for me to be here at this launch of WeHub, an innovation hub for women. First of all, I want to thank Honorable Minister Sri Rama Rao Garu, who has conceptualized this initiative for women entrepreneurs by setting up an exclusive incubator, the WeHub for Women Empowerment. This program will definitely encourage women from SME sector to set up startups of their own. I feel proud that the Telangana government is launching these flagship initiatives and encouraging such programs like T-Hub and WeHub, especially for women. A single moment can spark a revolution. Collective actions can transform laws. Creative expression can change the attitude, and an invention can alter the whole course of history. This is the threads that weave together to propel the women's movement, even in the face of hurdles. Today, with this single initiative, I definitely feel that the government's collective action, we can build a better society where women empowerment is linked to the nation's development. This year's International Women's Day, the theme is Press for Progress, emphasizing in transforming the momentum into action, empowering women from all sectors, rural and urban, and celebrating with the women who realizes their full potential. We have already seen the examples, 2 of them have come and spoke to us. The WeHub is definitely a platform for the women to make progress in the field of entrepreneurship with the support of financial, societal, and managerial guidance. Today's women have the wonderful potential, and we can speak of women's economic empowerment through productive employment, full ability to freely assert autonomy and exercise choices, and full access to the decision making, and in turn emerge as a true leader in this field. Wherever we look, there is an Indian woman in the pursuit of industrial dream, starting with her innocence in the form of a daughter, care in the form of a sister, warmth in the form of a friend, passion in the form of a beloved, dedication in the form of a wife, divinity in the form of mother, blessings in the form of grandmother. Yes, she is so tough to take up challenges of being a newborn entrepreneur. Women entrepreneurs should meet in small groups at least once in 6 months under a successful leader to exchange their experiences and develop business skills and plans. WeHub can be their home to nurture their talents and motivate each other. WeHub by Telangana government not only going to support by funding, but also will purchase 25% of total procurement from women entrepreneurs. This is a magnanimous step by the Telangana government, and I salute you, sir, for this big drive and pressing for progress in the SME sector. I once again congratulate the team of WeHub for initiating this flagship program, for motivating women entrepreneurs, and I take this opportunity to thank Honorable Minister Shri Rama Rao, Principal Secretary Shri Jayesh Ranjan, and CEO WeHub Srimati Deepti Ravula for inviting me to be a part of this prestigious event. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you. What an honor on International Women's Day to hear from her. Such an illustrious woman. May I now request the Minister Shri KTR Garu to say a few words to this gathering of women.
Good afternoon. I'm actually very nervous today. Normally I'm not. That's why I have a written speech today. I'm just not going to deviate from my speech and say much. But thank you, madam. Thank you to the first and only missile women of India, Dr. Tessie Thomas, for accepting to be the chief guest. In fact, I had the honor and the pleasure of sharing the podium with her last year on the same exact day at RCI. Today, I'm delighted that she could join us. Thank you, madam. Thank you, Vani, for coming all the way from Bangalore. I know you keep calling Hyderabad home, but I think you're spending more time in Bangalore, which I think you should seriously have a relook at some point, maybe. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Deepti,